In this video, I'm going to give you 50 free prompts to level up your creative game. These are going to work well with ChatGPT, MidJourney, Kling, Hedra, and all of the major AI tools. If you're an online content creator, marketer, or business owner, this video was made specifically for you. My name is Adrian, and over the last decade, I've spent millions of dollars on online ads and gotten billions of organic views. In this video, every single prompt is going to be completely free, linked in a Google Doc below. Alright, so let's get into the first prompt. That is the brand buildings. Now I'll have a video showing what it is, but essentially it is a little miniature building created for a brand using some of their iconic products and ultimately made to have an aesthetic vibe that can go viral on YouTube Shorts. I've seen this get millions of views on Instagram, and I actually got this template from Nate Herc's video where he creates a full N8N automation that pumps these out over and over again. But we're going to take this very easy to use prompt and I'll show you how we can generate some cool content with it. So it's super easy to use. All we have to replace is this one word with our own brand that we want to do. And then we just copy this entire script into ChatGPT and it will create a prompt for one of these images. So let's dissect this prompt. It says reimagine the blank brand as a tiny visual satisfying buildings. Create an image generation prompt for this mini architectural structure inspired by the brand. It needs to be hyper realistic, satisfying with tiny people, some of these key rules right here, and then we have an example. So ChatGPT can take this info, translate it into your new brand, and then come up with a great visual representation. So as you can see here, it's super simple. We just pasted this in with the one word changed as the Uber brand. And then as you scroll down, it created this great prompt. I can also tell it to make a MidJourney version or a ChatGPT version or whatever we want. And then we'll go into the next tab and you'll see that I had it generate it. And this one looks pretty cool with little drone helicopter thing on top. And we also translated this one more time. We did it for the Coca-Cola brand. As you can scroll down, it created this prompt. We then generated that prompt and you can see this little building right here. So here you can see I'm switching over to MidJourney, another image generation platform that I think is really good for these type of tasks. I gave it the same exact prompt, or the prompt that was adapted by ChatGPT to MidJourney, and you can see there's a bit more details. This larger Uber building here, this Coca-Cola themed building right over there. I thought these ones were a little bit better than ChatGPT. So ChatGPT was good at creating the prompt. However, when it comes to rendering it, I think MidJourney was a little bit better when it comes to these specific results. So the next thing I did was I upscaled this Coca-Cola bottle image from MidJourney version 7, downloaded that file. Now we're going to upload it onto Kling, and I'm going to give it a basic video prompt and show you the type of video that you can produce. Okay, so I came up with this very simple prompt. Camera rotates around building as tiny people walk around, lights gently flicker. We're on Kling 2.0, so this is going to cost a little bit of credits, but I'm going to generate this and see what it comes up with. Every time I make one of these videos, I actually spend a decent amount of money on the generations and the subscriptions for all these products. And like I said before, I don't have a course. I'm not selling you anything. So if you enjoyed this video or any of my other videos, please go to x.com/mentor. Follow my X page if you have one of those. If not, another great way to support is to join my Telegram group for breaking AI tool updates, where I will be alerting everyone when there's major updates in the AI space, as well as when I drop new videos. So those will be both in the description. And if you could give me a follow on either one of those, it would be greatly appreciated. And Kling generated the final product, so here it is. I'm going to be playing it right now. As you can see, it rotates around the building, giving you a view at every angle, and the little people are walking around, giving it a little bit of lifelike character. So you could stitch 5 or 6 of these together as a Instagram reel, or even post them as a slideshow, and they have a good chance of catching people's eyeballs and getting you new followers. Okay, now we're on to the second prompt. This prompt is actually really simple. It's more so the technique. So it's been blowing up on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, everywhere. These podcast babies. They take a podcast and then they babyify the characters and then they put the same soundtrack in. So I'll play this really quick Joe Rogan clip.
Would you fight a lesbian for an undisclosed amount of money?
Yeah.
Really? You don't even have to hear.
So that's an example, and I'm going to be showing you how to recreate that with yourself, and you can also apply this to anyone else from a podcast that already exists. So I found the best tool to do this for me is MidJourney. You can also do this as well on ChatGPT if you don't have a MidJourney subscription, but I'm going to scroll through these generations and then I'm going to show you how I did them. So in these ones I put the chains on and stuff because I thought that was funny. That's not really necessary. The prompt that here I have is just baby talking into a podcast microphone with headset on and a studio background. So that's the base prompt. I added a little bit more. And then on MidJourney, we can do this omni reference, which is pretty similar to on ChatGPT. If you just drag the image into the prompt and say, make it based on me with a picture of you or whatever person you want. We have this little omni strength. I'm going to put it as 200, meaning it's taking more inspiration from the prompt than necessarily me, but the baby should be themed around me. I actually change that prompt really quickly with the most recent one I was working with. We have the omni reference, and I'm just going to submit that and we'll see what those results look like. Okay, here are the results. This first one looks a little bit okay, but one thing I noticed with the omni reference is you have to do a lot of generations because sometimes it looks too much like the prompt and not enough like you, and sometimes it looks a lot like you but not enough the character you want. So I'm just going to be scrolling through all these generations and then picking the one that I want and moving on to the next step. I decided to go with this one, so I'm just going to upscale it now, and then we're going to download it and move it into Hedra. Okay, so the next step is we are on Hedra.com. We are on the video creator. We need to give it a start frame. So we're going to upload that image that we just generated right now. And then we need an audio script, and then a basic prompt. And once we do all three of those, it should be able to create that little podcast baby clip that we were talking about previously. So I gave it this super simple text prompt here, baby talks on podcast. Now for the audio, we're going to do a record audio session. So I'm just going to record an audio and I'll show you what the results are like. Okay, it looks like Hedra finally gave us the results, so I'm going to be playing that now and then giving a little analysis. Hey guys, this is just a test for the baby podcast. Make sure to follow my x.com/mentor and my Telegram updates group. Both will be linked in the description below. So you can see it lip syncs to the audio perfectly. It has the baby, and other than the microphone wiggling around a little bit, which could be potentially addressed in the text prompt, I think everything looks pretty good. So you can see how you can do this with a podcast by just taking a screenshot of the person, babyifying them, then running the original audio through it. Or you can be creative and use yourself or some other icon, turn it into baby, do whatever you want to make the content go viral. A technique that a lot of people are using, so I wanted to cover it on this video. Okay, now on to the third prompt. We're going back to ChatGPT. These are going to be simple, super easy to use design prompts. So here we have this great one that was created by this ex-user. Make sure to give him a follow. He constantly posts really great ones. This is a prompt right here, and it's really cool text style that we're going to be using. It allows you to have two essentially groups of text, the top one and the bottom one. We just replaced it with the top one with Adrian, and then the bottom one with viral AI marketing. And you can see this is the output. Designs a little image for you, and I just thought this one worked super well and was super creative, so I wanted to include it in this video, and I'm really happy with the results, one-shotting it right here. And moving on to the next prompt, this one is a really well designed prompt where you can take a product image and it turns it into a cool ad. So I'll be opening the tweet right here, and as you can see, this is one that was made for Doritos, this is one that was made for Red Bull, this one was made for Nike, this one was made for Kit Kat, and it's all super self-included. So you can see all you have to do is change that one name at the very top and then give it an image of your product if you want to. If not, you can just reference a popular one, and everything else will be taken from the prompt and good to go. So here you can see this is the total result. It came up with a tagline on its own. It has this cool AG1 that generated with the powder, and then this background and everything. So I thought this was a really great self-included prompt where you can just pop in your product and you can get a cool image that could do very well as an ad on, example, Facebook ads or Google ads. And moving on, we have the Waterform Identity. This is the same person. Make sure to support them on X. They come up with really great prompts. Here we have it with a few examples: the Tesla logo, the Swarovski logo, the Puma, and the Evian. And going into my ChatGPT, I just replace this with the YouTube. All you have to do is switch that one variable right there or upload your own logo. And you can see this is the YouTube water themed logo that it came up with. I thought this looked pretty cool. Two versions here. And then we also did one more for the Lego logo. So I thought these were really cool to include because they're just extremely easy to use, and you can modify them to your company and generate something that looks super pleasing. Okay, on to the next one. Now we're going to be using this prompt right here, and you may notice something that's a little bit different. Instead of being purely in English, we're using this JSON style guide, and you'll see in a minute what that looks like. But it allows for very consistent, cool renders of images that you upload, or applying this to essentially an effect to the photo. So we're going to be going on to ChatGPT, and as you can see, the beginning is just going to say retexture this image in the attach based on the JSON aesthetic below. So this part is English, and then we have the JSON, which is just the different variables and stuff that are set right there. And we're giving it the AG1 once again. Please sponsor me. Just kidding. But I see a lot of people running AG1 sponsorship, so I thought this was a good product to constantly be using in the photos to show you kind of what you can expect if you have your own product. So obviously you would replace this with your product or brand or whatever vision you had. And as you can see, it's just a bunch of text in the JSON file, but all this does describe this specific effect. So if we do it to a different product, it will have the same similar effect. And if you scroll down, here we go. I thought this result was again super cool. It applied very well, where you can still see the product liquid and everything like that. But the stylization of the packaging and the background and all of that is just perfectly intact, and I was super happy about it. And on the topic of these JSON visuals, my final prompt, which is actually 45 packaged together, is on this website, json.visuals.zip, and as you can see, he has a picture, the original input right here, which is this like top looking thing. And this has tons and tons, 45 to be exact, of these JSON themes. And I'm going to be showing you how to apply these to your images right now. So you just simply click on the one you want. We'll do this Dream Alloy Reef. You're just going to copy that JSON. Then you're going to go over to ChatGPT, drop your image here, then drop the JSON, which is just right there. And then you're going to go back to this document and just copy this text right here, which basically just says retexture this image and some instructions on how to do it. Then we are going to hit enter, and then it's going to generate that image for us right now. And there we go, the final result, and it just looks so stunning and it's so easy to use. I'll show you a few more applied to the AG1. Alright, so over here we gave it the Biolumina, which is this one right here. And then when we scroll down, you can see this is the result. I like this one too. And then we also gave it the crystal one. This one put this little crystal up here in the middle, which is a little distracting. But as you can see, you can go through this entire website and pick any of these 45 themes and put them onto your images and generate some very cool results. And that's it for the video. Thank you so much for all the support. More videos coming very soon. If you haven't already, make sure to join the Telegram community, link in the description, and I'll see you guys later.